And just because it's exhausting for her, it's so hard. And I think that's what we have to remember when we are dealing with our loved ones during Christmas. Many times you have to look at their situation also. My mother can only do a couple hours. She gets exhausted, she gets tired, and then it's time to go back. I know some people who their doctors have even said it probably is not a good idea for them to leave their assisted living facility because it's what they know, and they're going over to your home when it's very busy, very chaotic, very different. And so maybe you can bring some of their Christmas gifts to the assisted living facility, and that's okay too. You just have to know what is right for you and your family, and don't get overwhelmed by it. Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in. Hiya, hi everybody. It's Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories. Merry Christmas. The holidays I know can be tough for some and fun for some. And I think I live in the middle. I have a great time with my son, and the town adjacent to ours is the Christmas capital of Texas, Grapevine, Texas, and there is so many things to do. We take photos. There's a drone show. They do fireworks, Carol of Lights, you name it. There is a million things to do in the city of Grapevine, even ice skating outdoors. So, and it's real ice. It's not that weird plastic ice. So they actually have giant generators. They make ice. You can go ice skating, and it looks like super fun. So I now have a better relationship with Christmas. When my dad passed away, I know many of us who have lost loved ones sometimes dread the holidays. It's really hard. It brings up so many emotions, it brings up so many memories, and it can be really, really hard. And that was me a while ago. Now I look back at my past and all the things that when it came to my dad, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of those things, I look on them fondly, and I still get sad. I still wish he were here, but I can honestly say that I can talk about my dad, talk about the food he made. So my dad was the one who made all the food. I think I've said in the past, he was the cook of my family. He did all the cooking and he loved it. So Thanksgiving was literally a 7-day project. He started a week before Thanksgiving. He went to the grocery store, I think every single day. So everything he was making that day was really, really fresh. It wasn't sitting there. He made friends with the butcher, so he knew how to get the best turkey, which he then stuck in a brine bucket for like 3 or 4 days before he roasted the turkey in the oven. And funny enough, my dad really didn't like turkey. His father loved turkey. His father had a friend who owned a turkey farm, and they would have the largest turkey possible because my grandfather loved turkey. And once they had Thanksgiving dinner, then it was turkey everything until Christmas, then another giant turkey, and then a turkey everything for another month. My dad hated turkey, but he felt like Thanksgiving was the time that you made turkey. It's what people expected. He did it well. It was always gourmet. Like I said, turkey, stuffing. He would stuff turkey. He would do stuffing in the bird and outside of the bird, but it was always sausage, pecan, cornbread stuffing. He made his own cranberry compote with ginger and orange peels. He made a root vegetable medley, which was delicious. He always had broccoli with a homemade bechamel sauce. And what else did he do? Oh, my mom hated mashed potatoes. My dad and I loved them, so we also made mashed potatoes, but he would make my mom roasted acorn squash filled with butter and cinnamon, and he'd make about 4 of those for her, and she would eat them on Thanksgiving Day, but then could eat the leftovers for breakfast, for anytime she wanted, and she loved them. And then my mom did dessert, so she made her own homemade pecan pie and pumpkin pie. And that was Thanksgiving. And I can look back now and say The love my dad put into the holiday, regardless of loving the main meal, was so special, and I can thank him for that. Christmas was a different story. Christmas dinner was not turkey. He did a very British Christmas. He did prime rib, yet again, made friends with the butcher, got the best cuts, and he would get calls from the butcher saying, "Hey, this one looks the best. Come in now. I've got it to the side for you." So, prime rib, homemade Yorkshire pudding, yet again, root vegetable medley, acorn squash for my mom, broccoli with bechamel. Then my mom would make her grandmother's English raspberry trifle recipe, which was full of booze. Oh my gosh, I have that recipe now and I've made it. It's super boozy. If you definitely if you're those kind of people that want your kids to go to sleep, you would want to give them a slice of my mother's and her grandmother's raspberry trifle recipe. Um, but I love it. It's definitely an acquired taste, and you definitely cannot be afraid of alcohol. But then, yet again, there was always another dessert, like pie of some sort. So that is how I look back on my Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and it just makes me smile. My mom is still with us, obviously, and it's hard for her. And I know it's really hard for a lot of people who are going through it with loved ones who live with them and don't live with them. So, since my mother does not live with me, we have to determine how we're going to do Thanksgiving. Even when she could drive and my dad was alive, she was not the mom who insisted that she be at our house on Christmas morning with our son opening gifts. She really was respectful of our family's time together. So she would tell us, "Open your gifts, have your breakfast, do that kind of stuff, and then we'll come over around lunchtime or early dinner and we'll get together then." Since my dad does not cook anymore, we tend to order in Thanksgiving, or we tend to order in Christmas dinner. And my son loves lasagna, so there is a wonderful Italian restaurant in town. They do half sheets of lasagna, salad, uh, flourless chocolate cake, you name it, they'll make it, and that's my son loves it. This year, I think we're gonna have barbecue, which is very Texan, but it's what my mom asked for this year, and I don't see why we can't give that to her. So it's barbecue, and we'll have I don't know what we're gonna have. I think my husband ordered some brisket, some turkey, mashed potatoes, broccoli. Oh, mac and cheese for my son and my husband, and we'll make trifle. So boozy dessert with barbecue. My son does not eat the trifle. He doesn't like it. And I've even made it without the alcohol in it, and he still doesn't like it. So that's fine. I think he said it was a texture issue, which is okay. So I think, like I said, that is probably what we're going to do this year. And we will get my mom on Christmas Eve night. We will go to church. We'll have a lunch together. Christmas Day, we will have family Christmas in the morning, go get my mom, have her come over, open a few of her presents, and then she will go back to her assisted living. And just because it's exhausting for her, it's so hard. And I think that's what we have to remember when we are dealing with our loved ones during Christmas. Many times you have to look at their situation also. My mother can only do a couple hours. She gets exhausted, she gets tired, and then it's time to go back. I know some people who their doctors have even said it probably is not a good idea for them to leave their assisted living facility because it's what they know, and it's they're going over to your home when it's very busy, very chaotic, very different, and so maybe you can bring some of their Christmas gifts to the assisted living facility, and that's okay too. You just have to know what is right for you and your family, and don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't feel as if it has to be the way mom used to do it 20 years ago. Not 20 years ago. She's not the same person. You're not the same person. Make your own family traditions. Make the day the best it can be, but don't overwhelm everybody. Don't overwhelm your kids. Don't overwhelm your loved ones. Just have a good day and relax and enjoy the time you do get together. Because we all know one day those people aren't going to be with us. And you want to be able to look back on these days so fondly, just like I've learned how to do about my dad. Took me a little bit of time to get there, but I've pretty much got there. I still get weepy, and that's okay. It's because I loved him so much, and I still love him. So, with that said, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. I hope you have a happy new year. And the song of the week, which, yes, I know this is probably going to come out after Christmas, but I don't care. My favorite Christmas song is Whitney Houston's version of Silent Night. I love it so much. It makes me feel so good. I sometimes cry. Silent Night just gets me even in church. It's one of those songs just touches my heart and it just makes me cry. But it's because I love it so much, just like I cry because I love my dad so much. All right? So, Merry Christmas, guys. Bye. Love ya. Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.